Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to get a perfect score in a tire game every time without even putting any tires in the holes. Now, it is going to take a bit to set up, and the setup you are going to have to put tires in the hole to get it to work. Now, the time that it takes you to set this up can vary. It could take you like 30 minutes, it could take you an hour, it could take you like 20 minutes. But it is well worth it because once you get it, then you can share it with all your friends and they can get it by just joining your instance and then you just pushing all the tires off the map. And another good thing is this is 10 times easier to get a perfect game than legitly getting a perfect game. So basically what you want to be doing here is you want to be playing the tire game and you want to try to get it in these holes. Alright, so what you're trying to achieve here, so you're going to play the tire game like normal, and you're going to put it in the holes, and on the third tire, what you want to do is launch it, and then once you launch it, then you want to pull out your sparrow, wait like 5 seconds. Basically what you're doing is you're waiting a little bit so that the game can calculate your score. So once you wait a little bit, then you're going to take your sparrow and try to launch it into the middle crater, the middle hole. So to launch it into the middle crater, what you're going to want to do is demount your sparrow before you die, because you will get a kill barrier and just launch it off without you on it. So you got to jump off of it as you launch it. And to do that, you want to press square and X at the same time, so basically the demounting button and then the jump button. And when you press that, it makes you get off of your sparrow faster than if you just press square. So you want to press those combinations, and you want to put your sparrow in as the game is calculating the score. And if done correctly, what will happen is, for some reason, it'll add a value to your sparrow. So when it adds a value to your sparrow, let's say it's like 10, then when you start the next game, you'll have that 10 points. And when you have that 10 points to get a perfect score, all you would need to do is put it in the middle crater, which is worth 5. So now let's actually explain the point system here. So you have to actually understand the point system to be able to understand this glitch. So basically I am going to show you a screenshot here. So for the two side craters, left and right, those are worth 2 points. Then the back two craters are worth 3 points. The very front crater is worth 1 point. And then the middle crater is worth 5 points. Now the point system, how that works, is you actually need to get a score of 15 to be able to get a perfect score. And to get a score of 15, you have to get every tire in the middle crater. That's how you legitly beat the game. But you can add a score to your sparrow, and then you start out with, let's say, 10, and then all you need is actually just the middle crater, or you could need the side crater and a back crater, which then would give you also a perfect game. And you can keep doing this until you have your sparrow value equal exactly 15. So then you can just push the tires off, and boom, you have a perfect score, just like that. Now, knowing the value of the sparrow is actually kind of tricky in itself, because sometimes when you throw the sparrow in there, it can be worth what the tires are worth, which would be easy. But sometimes you throw the sparrow in there, and the value of the sparrow is actually more than the tires, or a little bit less. And honestly, I cannot figure out why the sparrow is sometimes worth more than what the sparrows are in there, and I don't know why it's sometimes worth just what the tires are, but you can use process of elimination to be able to figure out what score your sparrow is, then finding out what you need to get that perfect game. So to figure that out, you need to know like these texts, and these texts are the score is a low score, the score is an average score, or the score is a near maximum score, or the score is a perfect score. Now, for a low score, it is 1 to 5. So if you have a score of 1 to 5, that's a low score. Now, for an average score, it is 6 to 10. So if you have an average score, it's 6 to 10, and near maximum, it's 11 to 14. And then obviously a perfect score would be 15. So to be able to figure out what your tire is worth, you want to not what your tire is worth. Sorry, what your sparrow is worth. What you want to do is you want to push all the tires off, and when you push all the tires off, it'll say low score or average score or near maximum. Now, the way you can tell if your sparrow is actually being counted is if you are adding up these craters and it's supposed to be like a low score, but then all of a sudden it's pushed to an average score. That means your sparrow is being counted, or it's pushed to a near maximum score. Or what can actually happen is if your sparrow is worth like a high value of 10 and you try to get another 10, that is over everything. And when you get over everything, then it goes to nothing. Like no text will pop up on your screen. So you've overclocked it. And a thing that can happen is if you're not too careful, you can actually overclock the whole game. So when you push off all the sparrows, not all, all the tires, then it'll just say no text at all, and you broke the game, and you have to go into orbit and then come back and reset it and redo the glitch, and you do not want to do that. So now I'm going to show you like an example of when the sparrow got a value and how we figured out what value that sparrow was. So this is a game where the sparrow was worth some points. Now, like I said, it's kind of tricky to get the sparrow to be worth some points because you just have to get it in that middle crater as it's calculating the score, and I don't know the exact timing, but you'll be able to tell when your sparrow gets worth some points. And another trick that most people know about the tire game, but if you don't know, you could take like a rocket launcher or a grenade launcher, and if like your tire is really close to the crater, then you can take your rocket launcher and pull out your ghost and shoot right after you put away your ghost, and you'll be able to like explode the tire. And I have lasting impression on my rocket launcher. So now I have 2 tires in the middle, which is a value of 10, like I said in the beginning of the video, the values. And now I just pushed off the 3rd tire. And now I'm launching my sparrow into the middle, and the 3rd tire was actually put in number 1. So then that is a value of 11. That should be a value of 11, which is near maximum score. And my sparrow actually bounced into the middle crater and bounced out and bounced into one of the back craters, and it actually added a value to my sparrow. But at this point I don't know what it is because as you can see, there is no text for average, near maximum, or low score. So that means I overclocked it. So I got more than 11 points. Even though it was only 11 on the board, I got more than 11. So now I don't know the value of what my sparrow is. Because, you would think it would be 11, it would add up the tires, but I don't know. So to figure out the value of your sparrow, what you want to do is just start another game, and then when you start another game, push off all the tires off the side of the map. Which, to push it off out of the map, is you just have to push it off to the side here. And then it'll tell you if it's an average, near maximum, or low score. So, as you can see in a little bit here, when it calculates the score, my sparrow is worth an average score. So now, that means my sparrow is either worth a 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. So we don't know what it's actually worth right now. But it's in that range because of the text prompt that it gave me. So now we have to figure out what it actually is. So we have to play a process of elimination. And if we go over, then it can't be this number and it can't be that number. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the entire game again and put the tire in one of the holes. Don't remember which hole I actually get. So that is 2. So we have 2 added on to our score. Then we get a 5, so that's 7. So if we have a 7 right now, that's 14. If we have an 8, that's a perfect game. And that's a 10. So that's definitely overclocked it. And as you can see, no score. Because there's no way that it can be a 5 because we're on average. So I overclocked it by accident. So we'll just start again. Didn't give us any information, but we'll just do it again. Try to, not get as high of a score here. So we got a 1. And now we have a 3. So that's 4. 4 added to whatever our sparrow value is. And then 2, so that's 3, 6. So we have a 6 here, and that's a near maximum score. So we could still have a 6, because 6 plus 6 equals average. 6 plus 6 equals near maximum, my bad. 6 plus 6 equals. So say a sparrow's value of 6, the lowest value it could have in the average bracket. But we don't know. We need to get some good numbers here. So we need to get higher numbers than what we're getting to be able to tell. Maybe I just need to get a... So we got 8. 8 plus 6 would be 14, which would be near maximum. So, or it's a 9, which would be a overclock. So we got 8. Eight is too much. So that means it can't be a 7 because that would be 15, and so it's got to be. So that means it can't be a 7 or a 6 because that would be a perfect game or a near maximum game. So it's either 8, 9, or 10. So we're getting process elimination here. So it's either 8, 9, or 10 what this value of the sparrow is. And as you can see, I still push the tires off and we're still getting an average score. So our tire value hasn't actually increased. Well, not our tire value, our sparrow value hasn't actually increased. So we're just trying to figure out what it actually is. So maybe we just need to get a 5, because if it's a 10, that'll be a perfect score right there. That's ideal, what we want, because it's either an 8, 9, or 10. So we have a 3, which would be near maximum. 8 is too much, so we overclocked it again. We already know 8 is way too much. I tried to bounce the tire out of the middle hole, because sometimes when you throw your sparrow in, it'll bounce the tires out. So I figured I would give that a shot, but it didn't work. So we're just going to push the other tire off the map and get nothing, which my friend already did off screen. So then we're going to play it again And it does take some time, guys. I know, you gotta figure out the score and what everything is. So we want it in that middle. So we got it in the middle. So now I'm just gonna push this off. So if we have a 10, that'll be a perfect game right here. This will be a perfect game. But if it's not a 10, then it'll be near maximum. So it's a perfect game. So what we have is a value of 10. So now we know we have a value of 10. So now we need to increase it to higher. So we need to increase the sparrow value higher to get that perfect game all the time. So now at this point, if you were just going for the perfect score, then you could quit. And it took us about like 10 minutes to get it. But if you wanted to set it up for your friends, then you can increase the sparrow value even higher. So now I have it in a 3, so that's 13. So we have 13 now. So I don't know if I push this. Okay, so I'm just going to push the tires off the map. And now what I'm going to try to do is try to increase the sparrow value again by throwing my sparrow in the middle crater. And because there's only one tire, we'll know that the value will go to 3. So we'll increase to 3. So it should take the value of this tire and put it up to 13. So now the value of the sparrow will be up to 13. But we're not 100% sure, so we just have to pay for it again. And what we could do is we can push the tires off the map, but we decided to keep going. If you push them off the map, then it would say near maximum if the sparrow value was 13, because 13 is near maximum. So we have a 5. So if it's still 10, that means we'll get a perfect score. If it's 13, it'll overclock it, and it'll actually be 13. I don't know why I launched my sparrow. I don't know what I was thinking. But as you can see, we got no score. So that means our value of the sparrow is actually 13. So now what we need to do is push the tires over there. I push one over there, and then I'm going to have my buddy block the tire for me. Well, actually, it looks like I didn't know what I was doing in the gameplay. Sorry, guys. It looks like I'm actually pushing the tires off to make sure that I have 13, so it should say near maximum when all the tires are off. Near maximum. So now we know it's a value of 13, so now we need to do the tire game and put it in 2. We're almost 100% positive, but we'll test it out to make sure that it is a value of 2. So I'll push one over there, and then I'll have my friend block the tire so it doesn't roll down the hill. Or what you can do if you're playing solo is you can just prop the tire up so it won't spin away. And right now we have it in the 2 slot. So now we just push all the tires off the map. And then when you push all the tires off the map, then it should say perfect score. Now you could just leave it like this if you really wanted to. You could leave it at 13, and you just have to get tire in crater number 2 every time to get a perfect score. But if you want that, just pushing all the tires off the easiest way possible to get a perfect score every time, then you would have to be able to put the tire in slot number 2, and then when you put it in slot number 2, then you want to launch your sparrow into the middle crater to try to get the value up to 15 so you can just push off the tires. Now I'm not going to lie to you guys, for some reason we got all the way up to 13 super fast, as you guys could see in this video footage, and then it was a pain to get the value up to 15. For some reason this one wanted to make sure it was a pain, and when it was a pain, it took us probably about almost an hour to 45 minutes to get the perfect score. So we could just push the tires off. So I'm obviously going to skip ahead because I don't want you guys to be bored just waiting and watching me shoot this into number 2 probably about like 50 times. It was very frustrating last night. But sometimes like the value gets added to the sparrow pretty quickly, and I don't understand why sometimes it doesn't add and sometimes it doesn't. It's got to be something with timing, and I can't figure out the exact timing that the sparrow has to be put into the hole to be able to add it onto the score. I really don't know. And one thing that you never want to do when you're at the like near maximum point, when you're at the point where you only need like 2 points, you never want to put 2 tires in and throw your sparrow in, because what will happen is the game will actually overclock it. So and if you overclock the game, then the game will be broken. So you only want 1 sparrow. Once you're at this point where if you need 3, or you need maybe a 5, or so if you ever need like a 3, like let's say you need a 3, then you don't want to do 2 and 1 and then try to add to the sparrow value, because then it'll overclock it and you'll break the whole game for this whole session, and you will not be able to win at all, and you'll have to go to orbit and come back, and all your work is done, like just gone down the drain. So you just want to get it in the back hole. So like let's say your value is 12, your sparrow value is 12, so then you want to put it in one of the back holes, number 3, because then when you throw your sparrow in, it'll be a perfect score and the value of the sparrow won't overclock. But if you have it in 1 and 2, it'll overclock, if that makes sense. Like, I know it's kind of confusing. With more tires, it kind of sometimes adds higher, and you don't want that. If you have a 4, then do 2 and 2, and you can throw your sparrow in. It should just only add 2. It might overclock it, but with my experience, it doesn't. It just adds the 2, and then you'll have to do the 2 again, and you'll have to add it up to a perfect score. So with that information, I was just trying to share with you guys how you could mess it up. And now we're going to show for the end here how we got it to the perfect score with pushing all the tires off. About 40 minutes later, we finally get up to a perfect score. So my timing was off every time. So if your timing's off, it never adds a value. Or if your sparrow bounces out of the hole when it's trying to go in the hole, then that messes you up. But as you can see, I put it in the hole, and then it's adding the value up, and it says perfect score. And right there, I thought I got it, and now we're going to test it. Obviously we did, because I already know the gameplay, but you kind of want to put your sparrow in as it's adding it up, and that's the perfect timing, I think. But now it's added a value to it, and now I'm just like so fed up with this at this point. I'm just like, hey Diggy, can you pay for it this time? Because I was just so frustrated. So if you ever want to like actually use this footage, just so you know, like just if you want to make a video about this glitch, please shout out me and Diggy, so Killer Gaming. If you could just put my channel in your description, or just say my name, because I spent a lot of work on this glitch, so if you could just shout me out, that'd be much appreciated, because we spent hours upon hours on this trying to figure out the score value and why it's adding and why it's not adding and everything like that. And as you can see right now, we just got a perfect score with just pushing all the tires off. So now we can just add anyone into this fire team, and they load in, and we push all the tires off, and they get a perfect score just like that. And then any random that joins into this patrol, perfect score just like that. And actually, what can happen is I had it happen once, one time only. I set up the perfect score game, and I left the orbit, and then I came back, and I loaded into the same instance I was already in, because I knew, because there was a guy there, and we're still getting perfect score over and over again. And I was just like, that's funny, because it just sticks in that session that whole time. I think if someone's in the area, maybe if no one's in the area and you left the orbit, and then it would be gone. But that's also true for if you break the game. If you overclock it, like I said, there's a possibility that you could overclock it and you can break it. So if you just push all the tires off, you'll just overclock it every time, and it's broken for that whole entire session. So you can kind of troll with it, but yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I know it's kind of a long one. It's kind of long because I have to explain it to its fullest, and like this, I don't know how else to do it. Maybe I could have explained it a little bit better to be able to shorten it down, but sorry about the long video. But thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed today's video, then drop a like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.